Hi all. All right, before I get started, I really just want to thank the TED team. This talk is very, very personal to me, and until now, I haven't shared a lot of this information with my closest friends and family. So I hope y'all enjoy. Y'all know TED loves questions, so we'll start with a question. By a show of hands, has anyone ever been in pain before? Wow. Me too. And for a long time now, every day. You see, tonight is a really, really special night for me. On this night, 8 years ago, I just finished 12 hours of brain surgery. I still remember how much those headaches hurt, coming out and having no spinal fluid left in my head. It hurts just thinking about it. And you see, I have something called Chiari malformation and severe scoliosis. And if you're like me, you probably have no idea what the first one was. You see, it's essentially my brain was too big when I was born, and it pushed through the back of my skull and wrapped around my spinal cord and cut off spinal fluid flow. I'll never forget when the doctor used the word paralyzed in our first talk. But luckily, that's not me. I had the surgery, but the scoliosis is still here. And after so many visits to the doctor, I've realized it's only going to get worse. Even today, I spent a large portion of the day in so much pain, and I just wanted to do nothing, but I knew I had a TED Talk I had to come to. So here we are, and I'm so excited to share it with you guys. And what about you? You see, CDC statistics say 1 in 5 people in 2019 lived with chronic pain annually. 1 in 5. There's like 5 of y'all here and 5 there and 5 there. And that's so many of you. This pain and this problem affects so many of us that there has to be a solution. And luckily, there kind of is. There's a lot of really, really brilliant people, brilliant psychologists and scientists working on how to deal with life. And within behavioral cognitive therapy, they've come up with something called the Operant Model. And in the Operant Model, life is basically made up of feedback loops. You have positive feedback loops when good things happen and you feel good and you feel uplifted. And then you have negative feedback loops when you feel bad and you don't want to do those things anymore. And you just want to do nothing. And see, the problem with this model is it's broken for people with chronic pain. For me, everything can be a negative feedback loop. And if I let it, I wouldn't want to do anything at all. There is some advice though. They say in the Operant Model, if you live with chronic pain, you essentially have to ignore the feedback loops and instead focus on functioning. Focus on your goals. What do you want? And that's what I do every single day through marching band. You see, I love marching band. I have marched, or am about to march, my 20th season of marching band. And a lot of you are like, how can you even do 20 seasons? There's only 4 years of high school. So as behind me and as I talk, we'll go through a bunch of different pictures. Essentially, I do 3 different activities, marching band, WGI, and DCI. I like to refer to them as fall, summer, and winter. In the summer, I go on a tour bus, and for 88 days, I travel across the country. We travel 10,000 miles, and for 88 days in a row, we work 14-hour days just practicing the music. And over the winter, the activity I'm doing right now, and right after this talk, I'm gonna hop in my car and drive up to Nashville. We rehearse every single weekend from September all the way until May, working on a single product, working 24 hours every weekend. I absolutely love this activity, and one of the reasons I love this activity is it's taught me so much information about chronic pain and just how to deal with it. And so that's what I'm gonna share with you guys tonight. A lot of the lessons that chronic pain, or that marching band rather, has taught me on how to deal with my own chronic pain. But before we get to that, I know everyone loves music, and I can't talk about marching band without showing y'all some music. So really quick, we're gonna watch a minute clip of a show that I performed. This is the show from my perspective, so it's really unique. You get to see what does it look like for me. And this is my 19th season, so I've been doing this for a long time. I'd already won multiple medals and world championships in the top level groups at this point. So I really hope y'all enjoy this 50 seconds. love that video so much, y'all. So if you want to see the whole 12-minute video, it's available on YouTube, but let's move on to the lessons. So the first lesson marching band has taught me about dealing with my chronic pain is you have to take care of your body. When I joined marching band, I always wanted to play snare drum. I wanted to march out on the field, and run around and do all the cool visuals. But in that very first picture we saw on the very first screen, that was when I discovered I had these disabilities. And from then on, the doctor told me, hey, you can't really lift anything more than 20 pounds. He's like, you need to take it easy and just relax, take care of your body. And I let that determine what I was going to do for a really long time, until this season. This season you see here on the screen is my first season at Equinox Percussion in 2018. It was my first season where I had a visual responsibility. I was so excited. The director told me, he's like, hey, you're going to run out on the floor behind you and dance. I was like, whoa, awesome. But I was terrified. As we started the rehearsals, I ended everyone in so much pain that I didn't want to do it anymore at all. And through a lot of brilliant people, specifically the CEO of this organization, he worked with me constantly. He set up a yoga routine with me. He set up a resistance training routine with me. And he helped me work on my body and really taught me the importance of taking care of my body. And after thinking I would never be able to be physically active, I can proudly say that this week alone, I deadlifted over 215 pounds. And I'm so happy to be physically healthy, or at least closer to it. But what about you guys? We all know you have to take care of your body, and we all know it's common knowledge. And so really ask yourself, how did you take care of your body today? What if you're one of the 1 in 5 that has chronic pain tomorrow? The next lesson marching band has taught me with dealing with my chronic pain is you have to take care of your mind. You see, I used to have a really bad habit in marching band. I'd stand there at my instrument the whole rehearsal and be focused on how many minutes I had left until rehearsal would end. I'd stand there in so much pain, and I just wanted to be over. And how many of us don't know where our awareness is? My instructor saw it on my face immediately. She's like, you have no idea what we're paying attention to. Just like you guys are paying attention to my voice right now, I had no idea that my attention was on my pain. And so she introduced me to meditation. She said, you basically need to cultivate an awareness to what you're paying attention to. Be able to effortlessly focus on something for a long time. And thanks to her, I can proudly say now that I've been meditating for over 3.5 years, and it has had a substantial impact on my ability to pay attention to what I'm paying attention to. I can now notice that maybe I'm looking you in the eyes and having a talk right now, as opposed to thinking about my pain in my back. And as you work on your awareness, you get better at paying attention to me as I'm giving this talk right now, you enter something called the flow state, where you do it effortlessly. You don't even have to try to listen to my voice right now. And there's one more step to having a strong mind that they teach us in marching band. We have a lot of sports psychologists that come in and say, how do you perform under pressure when everyone's looking at you? And one of the key things they say is after you enter in the flow state, you have to be able to come up with effective articulations for your current limitations. I know a lot in band, we receive comments constantly. I have someone standing in front of me basically saying, you did this wrong, you did that bad, you did that bad. And you can let it affect how you view yourself. If you think, oh, I just had a bad rep, then I'm bad, you're never going to get better. But if you can articulate exactly what your limitation is, maybe your mallet is a little bit too low to the board and it's too quiet compared to the guy next to you. And if you focus on that, you can really, really achieve as opposed to focusing on the negative. So ask yourself, what did you pay attention to today? Is your awareness good? How are you talking to yourself today? Have you been kind to yourself, or have you been beating yourself up? And the final lesson I want to talk about that marching band has taught me is collaboration. See, the first 2 lessons are all about making you independent, or at least that's what they were for me. That way I could stand on my own 2 feet, stand up here, be confident, proud of who I am. After that, I got really competitive. And this season we have here on the screen is very, very memorable to me of it. This was my first time ever in a leadership position. Since then, this has been 5 years ago. I've been a head TA for many semesters. I've been a leader more times than I can count. But this was the first one. And I was so proud to be a leader. Too proud. So much so that I put others down. I was competitive. I thought being in this marching band was about being the best player and being better than everyone else. And I thought, oh, because I'm the best player, then I should be the leader and I should be the best. And I would put others down in my instruction, in my leadership, and left no room for others to have ideas. This season, I regret dearly, and many of my friends will tell you it's changed how I act a lot. I think a lot more about collaboration now. about instead of just being independent, about being interdependent, about being synergistic, and about creating something bigger than just the sum of our individual parts, but creating it together. So ask yourself, how have you been treating those around you? Have you been supporting each other? I lied. There's one more lesson, and that's you kind of have to repeat these every single day. As much as I wish I could tell you that, oh, this is going to be easy, and you just have to learn these lessons one time, as I kind of thought at first. You don't. You have to really learn these lessons every single day. And this marching band season that I have on the screen is very, very important to me for that reason. You see, I'd already marched 5 summers in a row, where 88 days in a row, we work on the same concepts. We work on our body, our mind, and our working together. And then this season, COVID hit, and we couldn't do marching band anymore. And for all of a sudden, we were all alone and had to do these habits by ourselves. And the thing is most of us are all alone. We have to do these habits. So ask yourself, how have you been working every single day? I promise you, it's not always going to be easy. And in fact, it'll be hard a lot of the time, but it does get easier. So to recap, learn your lessons, support the fine arts, and thank you for coming to my TED Talk.